Welcome to TNT, the start of a new week, and yep, it's pretty wet here today. Been a reasonably wet weekend, although we did get into the yard and had a bit of a clean-up. Life goes on here in Thailand, even during the wet season, and it has been fairly wet down in the southern parts of Thailand, certainly along the Andaman coast. Now, we will cover some of the flood situation and what's happening up in the north and the northeast of Thailand later on in the program, but we're going to first start regionally. And just as we're recording the program this morning, this little short came through on YouTube, and it's just showing the storm that's hit Shanghai. This is the tropical typhoon Babinka, and will be now weakening as it's making its way northwest into China. But it's one of just quite a few tropical storms in the area. Let's check the map. We go to Venture Sky and we see Babinka up the top there, just making landfall in China near Shanghai. Further down near the Philippines, we've got a smaller typhoon at the moment just called 98W, and then making its way through the North Pacific at the moment and also heading towards China just north of Taiwan is Pulasan. And that appears that it could develop into quite a big typhoon. Just into Thailand at the moment, this is the rain map at the moment. And as you can see up north there, there's less rain up in northern Thailand, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, etc. We go down to the south, though, and down where we've got Phuket and where I'm living, quite a lot of rain. And I can attest that that is very accurate at the moment. Right along the Andaman coast, quite a lot of rain. So the word of the day today is moist, as we have a quick look at what's happening with the Thai baht versus the US dollar. Now, we were worried about a week ago that the value of the US dollar against the Thai baht might drop below 34 Thai baht to the USD. Well, now we're worried that it might drop below 33. This is looking at 1 year of the value of the USD to the Thai baht, and as we speak today, it's 33.2 Thai baht to the US dollar. And you can see that it was at its highest recently back in April this year. That's the red mark, when it was up at 37.2 Thai baht to the US dollar. And this is a 2-year graph, and we can see we're at the lowest point we've been since February in 2023. So the reasons the Thai baht is so strong against the US dollar at the moment are many and varied, and a lot of people have their theories in the comment section, and we appreciate your thoughts on the matter. It's obviously a very complicated and convoluted topic. Okay, to some domestic matters, and we head to the Bangkok Post. And the article, which is a bit of an opinion piece, is headlined "Per-Thai Gambles in Casino Policy," been put together by Vera Pratipchaikun. And the article starts with a lot of commentary about that it's probably Thaksin who might be behind pushing forward this casino idea rather than his daughter, who's currently the Prime Minister, Paetongtarn. But we'll sort of move on to some of the more factual parts of the article. It says the entertainment complex idea, inherited by Ms. Paetongtarn from the previous administration, is regarded as one of the urgent policies of her government. And the cost of the casino license is 5 billion baht, which is valid for 30 years and can be renewed for 10 years. And a company which wants to invest in a casino in the complex must have a registered capital of 10 billion baht and would be required to operate at least 4 other businesses in the same complex, such as a hotel, a sports arena, a yacht club, or a gaming parlour. Well, if they want a yacht club, it's probably not going to be in Chiang Mai. Per-Thai, that's the leading party in the coalition, claims the complex will attract about 300 billion baht in new money, mostly from abroad, to invest, and will earn the government about 20 billion baht in tax revenue annually. It will also create about 20,000 jobs. And as of now, the government appears to be going full throttle and doesn't care less about possible negative long-term social impacts, such as entrenched gambling addictions or objections by the civil society. This is the writer Vera veering into a slight opinion there. A casino will not solve illegal gambling, although it may attract people to gamble legally. Certain restrictions, such as the proposed entrance fee to the casino, reported at 5,000 baht, will discourage low-income or even middle-income gamblers from using the facility or return to their old habit of illegal gambling, both online and offline. And the writer Veera Pratipchai-kun was the former Bangkok Post editor, a political commentator and regular columnist at the Post Publishing. It's quite a long and involved article, so I'll put a link in the description of this video if you'd like to read the whole story. Acknowledging the sponsors for today's video, 5-Star Marine at 5starmarinephuket.com. Still waiting for my shirt, Sean. And over here, we've got Beach House Thailand. And hopefully in the next week, we'll have some photos of our completed 4th and 5th beach houses. Been a lot of work going on over the weekend. We could spend plenty of time inside because it wasn't very nice outside. Let's go to a story in Phuket. Then in amongst the rain, fire erupts at cannabis warehouse in Thailand. No injuries reported. And this story from the PhuketExpress.com. And at 7:30 in the morning yesterday, Thailand police and emergency responders were called to a fire at a cannabis cultivation warehouse in Sisantorn, Thailand, which is sort of right smack bang in the middle of the island. Firefighters worked to extinguish the blaze, focusing on spraying water inside the warehouse. It took 30 minutes to bring the fire under control, according to the officers. It actually only took 5 minutes to put out the fire, but they spent the next 25 minutes standing downwind. And initial reports suggested the fire might have been caused by an electrical short circuit, with firefighters finding flames near the control panel and electrical circuits, according to the officers. No injuries, lucky to say, or casualties were reported. Damage was estimated at around 3 million baht. Forensic investigators from Phuket will further examine the scene to determine the exact cause of the fire incident. And cannabis sort of in the news also up in Pattaya over the weekend. We go to the BangkokPost.com. Pattaya pub raid nets illegal Canadian DJ and a sword-carrying Briton. And police raided a nightclub, arrested a Canadian DJ working illegally and a sword-carrying Briton on Saturday night. Happened at the Bando Bar on Soi 6 Road in Pratumak. And police found about 50 Thai and foreign visitors who were drinking alcohol, smoking cannabis and dancing to the music. And police arrested a Canadian DJ, 41, identified only as David. He was charged with working without a permit in the country. Then during the arrest, a 23-year-old British man, identified only as Zico, ran away from the cannabis club. Police ran after him, finally arrested him among banana trees, about 800 metres from the club. He was found to be carrying a sword. Why? And then there was a sign prohibiting cannabis smoking at the club, but police found a large quantity of marijuana joints there. I would have thought the issue with the sign was probably between the patrons and the management of the club. The issue of smoking cannabis inside a club like that is a very grey area indeed at the moment. Right, let's have a talk about some flooding and a bit of an update. And we head to nationthailand.com. Mekong River bursts its banks and floods downtown Nong Khai. The Mekong River, which has been bloated with floodwaters from upstream provinces, burst its bank on Sunday morning, flooding the city area of Nong Khai. At some spots, the water level was more than a metre high. This is where we're talking about the arrow pointing to Nong Khai province, and sort of in the middle of that area where the G is the main city area of Nong Khai. And if you want to get your bearings up the top there in the circle, you've got the borders there of Laos, Myanmar and Thailand, and Chiang Rai, which has been suffering so much flooding. And this shaded area here along the northeast border between Thailand and Laos is going to be suffering floods over the next 3 or 4 days as the water makes its way down the Mekong towards the Cambodian border. And the Nong Khai municipality reported yesterday at 7 a.m. the water level on the Mekong River measured 13.8 metres, and that's above its average level. And then it says the Mekong from Laos flows into Chiang Kan district of Loi and continues to Nong Khai, Buang Kan, Nakhon Phanom, Mukdahan, Amnat Charon and Ubon Ratchathani provinces. And the massive floodwaters are expected to reach Cambodia and Vietnam by Tuesday and Thursday, respectively. Sorry for murdering those names. Let's check a wider perspective. We go to Bangkok Post. Flooding affects about 30,000 families in 12 Thai provinces. The article goes on a bit of a shopping list here of provinces affected: Ang Thong, Ayutthaya, Chiang Rai, Loei, that's up in the north as well, Mae Hong Son, Nan, Nong Khai, Phetchabun, Phitsanulok, and we've got Prachinburi, Sukhothai, and Pak. And a spokesperson said that from August the 16th to the 15th, flooding killed 43 people, injured 24 others, and affected 133,000 families in 28 provinces. And the Meteorological Department said that from yesterday to Tuesday, heavy rain was forecast in the northeast, the east, and on the western coast of the south. That's the Andaman Sea coast where I live. From Wednesday to Saturday, rains will decline in the north and the upper northeast, but continue in the lower northeast, the central plains, the east, and the south. So certainly getting the wet part of the wet season over the next week. Please take care. An interesting story that also emerged, had been reported in the Cowside English Facebook page. A female Facebook user closed her account after she was heavily criticised for posting a complaint saying flood relief food was not delicious, and donors and rescuers should try harder to hand out delicious packed food instead of the same unpalatable dishes, including krapao mu, which is fried pork with basil leaves, and take photos that show you have come to help. Well, tell that to the people that couldn't be reached for 2 or 3 days and hadn't eaten, in some cases, any fresh food. And a good reason there that she closed her account. With that, thank you. As the rain returns, luckily I got the filter on the mic, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.